Imagine waking up tomorrow with two choices. The first path feels comfortable. You hit the snooze button. You tell yourself you'll start next week. You postpone the workout. You delay the difficult conversation. You promise that someday you'll become the person you've always wanted to be. The second path feels different. You wake up when the alarm rings. You make your bed. You finish the task you don't feel like doing. You keep the promise you made to yourself. No one applauds. No one notices. No one even knows. Yet, without realizing it, you've begun changing your life. Now ask yourself one question. Which path are you walking today? Because the truth is, your future isn't built by the biggest decisions you make once in a while. It is built by the smallest decisions you make every single day. Most people believe mental strength appears during life's biggest moments, when tragedy strikes, when failure arrives, when everything begins to fall apart. But they're looking in the wrong place. Mental strength is not created in the storm. It is revealed by the storm. It is built long before the storm ever arrives. Imagine watching two houses standing side by side. From the outside, they look almost identical. Then a hurricane comes. One collapses. The other remains standing. The storm didn't decide which house was stronger. The foundation did. Your mind works exactly the same way. Every difficult morning, every temptation resisted, every promise kept, every uncomfortable task completed. These are the bricks that quietly build your foundation. Unfortunately, we live in a world that celebrates motivation more than discipline. We wait until we feel inspired. We wait until we feel confident. We wait until we feel ready. But feelings are unpredictable. Some mornings you wake up energized. Others you don't. Some days confidence is high. Other days it's nowhere to be found. If your actions depend on your emotions, your progress will always be unstable. Imagine a captain sailing only when the weather is perfect. The ocean remains calm. The wind is gentle. The sky is clear. He feels like an excellent sailor. But what happens when the first real storm appears? He has no experience, no resilience, no confidence earned through hardship. The sailor who trained during rough seas becomes the one who reaches the shore. Life follows the same principle. Comfort rarely develops strength. Challenge does. There is an old story about a young blacksmith who wanted to forge the strongest sword in the kingdom. He spent months searching for the finest steel, the perfect hammer, the best tools. Finally, he visited an elderly master. The young man proudly displayed everything he had collected. The old blacksmith smiled. Then he placed a cold piece of steel into the fire. Minutes later, he removed it and struck it with the hammer. Again and again and again, the young apprentice watched nervously. "It looks like you're destroying it," he said. The master shook his head. "No, I'm revealing what it can become." Our lives are often shaped the same way. Every difficult day feels like another blow from the hammer. Every disappointment, every sacrifice, every challenge. Yet those experiences are not always destroying us. Often, they are shaping us. The problem is that many people walk away before the process is complete. The workout becomes difficult. They quit. The business grows slowly. They quit. The habit feels boring. They quit. The relationship requires patience. They quit. Not because they lacked ability, because they lacked discipline. Discipline is rarely exciting. It doesn't usually create dramatic moments. It doesn't produce instant results. It asks you to do the right thing, especially when no one is watching, especially when you don't feel like it. Imagine planting an oak tree. On the first day, nothing changes. After a week, almost nothing changes. After a month, the progress still seems invisible. Many people give up because they mistake invisible progress for no progress, but beneath the soil, roots are growing quietly, patiently. Preparing for the day the tree finally rises above the ground. Your discipline works exactly the same way. Every small action strengthens roots no one else can see. One day, those roots become visible as confidence, resilience, wisdom, and mental strength. The Stoics understood this better than almost anyone. Marcus Aurelius didn't become calm during Rome's greatest crises by accident. He practiced self-discipline long before those crises arrived. Every morning he prepared his mind. Every evening he reflected on his actions. He didn't wait for difficult times to begin training. He trained because difficult times were inevitable. That lesson remains just as important today. Modern life constantly offers comfort. Food arrives with a single tap. Entertainment never ends. Distractions fill every empty moment. Convenience surrounds us. Yet despite all this comfort, many people have never felt mentally weaker. Why? Because comfort can quietly become a habit, and habits shape character. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack every day. At first, it feels impossible. Your shoulders ache, your legs become tired, but over time, your body adapts. Eventually, the weight that once felt unbearable becomes normal. Mental discipline develops exactly the same way. Every challenge you willingly accept increases your capacity for the next one. Strength grows gradually, not suddenly. Perhaps the greatest lie we believe is this: one day I'll become disciplined. No, discipline isn't something you become. It is something you practice every morning, every conversation, every decision, every promise, little by little, day after day, choice after choice, until eventually, discipline is no longer something you force yourself to do. It becomes part of who you are. Over the next few chapters, we'll explore why the human mind naturally avoids discomfort, what psychology teaches us about building lasting discipline, and how the timeless wisdom of Stoicism can transform ordinary daily habits into extraordinary mental strength. Because the strongest people are rarely the most talented. They are the ones who quietly keep showing up, long after everyone else has stopped. And in the end, your life will not be shaped by what you intended to do. It will be shaped by what you disciplined yourself to do every single day. Why is it so easy to know what we should do, yet so difficult to actually do it? Almost everyone knows that regular exercise improves health. Most people understand that reading builds knowledge, saving money creates financial security, practicing gratitude improves happiness, sleeping well strengthens the mind. The information is everywhere. The problem has never been a lack of knowledge. The problem is the gap between knowing and doing. That gap is where discipline lives. Imagine standing at the bottom of a mountain. From where you stand, the summit is clearly visible. You know exactly where you want to go. But every step upward demands effort. Every step asks you to trade immediate comfort for future reward. Many people admire the mountain. Few choose to climb it. This is one of the greatest psychological battles we face. The human brain is naturally designed to conserve energy. Thousands of years ago, this was essential for survival. Food was scarce. Life was uncertain. Avoiding unnecessary effort increased the chances of staying alive. Today, however, that same instinct often works against us. Our minds still seek the easiest path, the elevator instead of the stairs, scrolling instead of studying, sleeping instead of training, complaining instead of improving. The brain whispers, take the easier option. Discipline quietly answers, take the better one. That single choice, repeated every day, shapes your future. Think about a river flowing downhill. It always follows the path of least resistance. Human behavior often works the same way. Without conscious effort, we naturally drift toward what is comfortable. That is why, mentally, strong people are not those who never feel resistance. They simply refuse to let resistance make their decisions. There is a story about two young gardeners who inherited neighboring fields. The first gardener worked only when he felt motivated. Some mornings he watered the plants. Other mornings he stayed home because he wasn't in the mood. The second gardener followed a simple routine. Every morning, every evening, rain or sunshine, excited or tired, he cared for the garden. Months passed. The first field became unpredictable. Some flowers bloomed. Many withered. The second field became a sea of color. Visitors praised the beautiful garden. Few noticed the countless ordinary days that created it. Life rewards consistency far more than intensity. One extraordinary day cannot replace 100 ordinary ones. Modern psychology confirms this principle. Researchers who study habits often explain that repeated actions gradually become automatic. Every time you repeat a behavior, you strengthen the mental pathway connected to it. Imagine walking through a dense forest. The first journey is difficult. Branches block your way. Tall grass slows your progress. But if you walk the same path every day, the trail becomes clearer. Eventually, you no longer need to think about Where to step, your habits follow the same pattern. The first morning you wake up early feels difficult, the 10th feels easier. The 100th becomes part of your identity. This is why discipline is more powerful than motivation. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. Discipline is behavioral. It continues regardless of how you feel. Imagine two musicians preparing for a concert. One practices only when inspiration arrives, the other practices every single day. Who will perform with confidence when the audience fills the room? The answer is obvious. Confidence isn't built before the performance. It is built during the quiet hours of preparation. The Stoics understood this long before psychologists gave it scientific names. They believed that excellence was never an accident. It was the result of repeated choices. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that every new sunrise brought another opportunity to practice virtue, not to talk about it, not to dream about it, to practice it. He understood that character isn't formed by intentions. It is formed by actions. There is another psychological truth many people overlook. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens trust. Every promise you break weakens it. Imagine having a friend who constantly says, "I'll be there," then never arrives. Eventually, you stop believing them. Now imagine making promises to yourself. "I'll start tomorrow. I'll wake up early. I'll stop procrastinating. I'll finish what I started." What happens when those promises are repeatedly broken? Your own mind slowly stops believing you. This is one of the hidden costs of inconsistency. It damages self-trust, and without self-trust, confidence becomes impossible. The good news is that trust can be rebuilt, not through dramatic changes, through small victories. Wake up when you planned. Finish one difficult task. Read one chapter. Take one walk. Keep one promise. Then another. Then another. Mental strength grows quietly, one kept promise at a time. Imagine building a stone bridge across a river. No single stone completes the bridge. Each one seems insignificant, but placed carefully day after day, they eventually create something strong enough to carry enormous weight. Your daily habits are those stones. Every disciplined choice strengthens the bridge between who you are today and who you want to become. The Roman philosopher Seneca once observed that luck often appears where preparation meets opportunity. People admire successful individuals and assume they were fortunate. What they rarely see are the years of disciplined preparation. Hidden behind that success, the early mornings, the repeated failures, the ordinary routines, the invisible work. History rarely celebrates the routine, yet the routine creates history. Imagine watching an archer release an arrow that strikes the center of the target. The audience applauds the shot, but they never witnessed the thousands of arrows that missed, the countless hours spent practicing alone, the quiet discipline behind one visible moment. Your life works the same way. People will one day admire your confidence, your calmness, your resilience, your achievements. They may call you talented, gifted, naturally strong. Only you will know the truth, that strength wasn't born overnight. It was earned, one disciplined decision after another. This is why the Stoics never chased perfection. They chased progress. They understood that every sunrise offered another chance to become just a little wiser, a little calmer, a little stronger. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of discipline. It doesn't ask you to change your entire life today. It asks only one thing: make the next right choice, then repeat it tomorrow, and the day after that, because extraordinary lives are rarely built through extraordinary moments. They are built through ordinary moments, repeated with extraordinary consistency. Imagine standing in the center of ancient Rome. The streets are crowded. Merchants shout across busy marketplaces. Soldiers march through the city. Messengers arrive carrying news from distant frontiers. Some reports speak of victory. Others bring word of famine, rebellion, disease, and war. Now imagine that every decision made in that empire depends on you. This was not imagination for Marcus Aurelius. It was his daily reality. He ruled one of the largest empires in human history during one of its most difficult periods. The Roman Empire faced relentless wars, political betrayal, economic uncertainty, a devastating plague that claimed countless lives. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius awoke knowing that comfort was not guaranteed. Yet despite carrying responsibilities that would overwhelm most people, he continued returning to one simple practice: daily discipline. Not because discipline made life easier, because discipline made him stronger than his circumstances. One of his most famous reflections begins with a reminder he gave himself every morning. When you wake up, tell yourself he wasn't talking to the world. He was talking to himself. Think about that. One of history's most powerful leaders understood that before leading an empire, he first had to lead his own mind. That is where Stoicism begins, not with controlling others, but with governing yourself. Imagine a king who commands thousands of soldiers but cannot control his own. Anger, is he truly powerful? Imagine a wealthy person who owns magnificent homes but becomes anxious over every criticism. Are they truly free? The Stoics would answer no to them. The greatest victory was always an inner one. There is an ancient story about a young Roman officer who admired Marcus Aurelius. He once asked an elderly philosopher, "How does the emperor remain calm while carrying the weight of an empire?" The philosopher smiled. "You see the crown, you see the armies, you see the throne, but you do not see his mornings." The young officer looked confused. The philosopher continued, "Before he governs Rome, he governs himself." That single sentence captures the heart of Stoicism. Your private habits create your public character. The victories no one applauds become the foundation for the victories everyone admires. Marcus Aurelius understood something that many people still struggle to accept today. You cannot always choose what happens, but you can choose how you prepare. Imagine two sailors hearing that a storm is coming. The first laughs. It probably won't happen. He ignores the warning. The second quietly repairs his ship, checks the sails, strengthens the ropes, stores extra supplies. When the storm finally arrives, only one sailor is ready. Discipline is preparation before the crisis. Most people wait until life becomes difficult before trying to become stronger. The Stoics practiced strength every single day because they knew hardship would eventually come. Another remarkable Stoic, Epictetus, offered an even more powerful example. He was born into slavery. He owned almost nothing. His circumstances were harsh, yet he taught one of the most liberating ideas in philosophy. No one can control your mind without your permission. Think about how revolutionary that idea is. Someone may insult you, someone may reject you, someone may betray your trust. Those events belong to the outside world. Your response belongs to you. Epictetus believed that discipline begins in that very moment. Not when everything is easy, but when emotion invites you to abandon your principles. Imagine someone placing a spark onto dry grass. If the grass is neglected, the fire spreads quickly. But if the field has been carefully maintained, the spark dies almost immediately. Your daily discipline works the same way. It prepares your mind before life's emotional fires appear. There is another story told about a young athlete who dreamed of becoming an Olympic champion. Every morning, while the city still slept, he trained. His friends mocked him. "Why work so hard when no one is watching?" The young man smiled, because one day everyone will watch. Years later, when he stood on the podium wearing a crown of olive leaves, people praised his natural talent. No one applauded the thousands of mornings before sunrise. The invisible discipline created the visible victory. This is one of the greatest illusions in modern life. We admire results. The Stoics admired preparation. We celebrate achievement. They celebrated character. We ask, how can I become successful? The Stoics asked, how can I become worthy of success? Those are very different questions. Seneca often reminded his students that difficult times are not punishments. They are opportunities to practice virtue. Imagine visiting a blacksmith. You watch as glowing steel is repeatedly placed into fire, then struck with heavy blows, again and again. At first glance, it appears violent, but the blacksmith isn't damaging the steel. He is strengthening it. Life often feels the same: disappointments, failures, losses, unexpected setbacks. The Stoics believed these experiences reveal where discipline is strong and where it still needs work. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they asked, "What can this teach me?" That small change in perspective transforms suffering into growth. Imagine climbing a steep mountain. Every step burns your legs. The air becomes thinner. Progress feels painfully slow. Halfway up, you begin questioning whether the climb is worth it. Then you look behind you. The view has completely changed. The mountain didn't become smaller. You became stronger. Daily discipline works exactly like that. At first, waking up early feels difficult. Keeping promises to yourself feels exhausting. Choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort feels unfair. But something remarkable begins happening. The habits that once demanded enormous effort become natural. The challenges that once frightened you become manageable. The discipline that once felt heavy becomes freedom. Freedom from procrastination. Freedom from emotional impulses. Freedom from excuses. Marcus Aurelius understood that freedom wasn't the absence of responsibility. It was mastery over oneself. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He practiced excellence in imperfect ones. Perhaps that is why his words continue inspiring millions nearly 2,000 years later, because every generation faces different challenges. But the human mind remains remarkably similar. We still battle fear. We still battle laziness. We still battle doubt, and we still search for strength. The Stoics remind us that strength is not found in extraordinary moments. It is built in ordinary ones. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity, another chance to keep a promise, another chance to choose discipline over comfort, another chance to become the kind of person who remains steady when life becomes uncertain. Because in the end, your greatest achievement will never be what you own or what others think about you. It will be the quiet confidence that comes from knowing this. No matter what life places before you, you have trained your mind well enough to face it. Imagine two people standing at the starting line of a marathon. They are the same age. They have similar talent, the same opportunities, the same dream of reaching the finish line. One trains only when motivation appears. If the weather is nice, they run. If they feel energetic, they train. If life becomes inconvenient, they skip the day. The other person follows a different philosophy. Rain or sunshine, inspired or tired, happy or discouraged, they show up anyway. Months later, race day arrives. From the outside, it looks as though one person simply had more determination. But the truth is much deeper. The race was not won on race day. It was won on hundreds of ordinary mornings when no one was watching. This is one of the greatest misunderstandings about mental strength. People believe mentally strong individuals think differently during difficult moments. In reality, they have simply practiced responding differently every single day. Their habits make their decisions before emotions have the chance to interfere. Psychologists call this the power of automatic behavior. Every repeated action strengthens a mental pathway. The more often you repeat a behavior, the less energy your brain needs to perform it. Imagine walking across a grassy field. The first time is difficult. Tall grass slows every step, but after walking the same route for weeks, a clear trail begins to appear. Eventually, following that trail becomes effortless. Discipline creates those pathways inside your mind. At first, choosing the difficult option feels unnatural. Over time, it becomes your default. There is an old story about a stonemason who spent decades building a magnificent cathedral. Every morning before sunrise, he placed one stone, then another. Visitors often laughed. "You'll never finish at this pace." The mason never argued. He simply continued. Years later, the cathedral stood proudly over the city. People admired its beauty. Few remembered the thousands of quiet mornings that made it possible. Life works the same way. Every disciplined action is another stone placed upon the foundation of your future. Most days, the progress feels invisible, but invisible does not mean unimportant. One stone may seem insignificant. 1,000 stones create something that lasts for centuries. Your character is built exactly that way. One promise kept, one temptation resisted, one difficult task completed, one excuse ignored. Over time, these small victories become an unbreakable mind. Modern psychology confirms this truth. Researchers studying resilience have found that mental toughness is not usually created through one life-changing event. Instead, it develops through repeated exposure to manageable challenges. Each challenge teaches the brain an important lesson. I've handled difficulty before, I can handle it again. Confidence is not born from positive thinking, it grows from evidence. Every disciplined action becomes evidence that you are capable of doing hard things. Imagine lifting a single brick. It feels easy. Lift one every day for a year. Eventually, your muscles adapt. Now imagine replacing the brick with life's challenges, getting up early, finishing difficult work, remaining calm during criticism, saving money instead of spending it, reading when entertainment seems easier. Every challenge strengthens a different part of your character. There is a story about a young violinist who dreamed of performing before thousands of people. She admired famous musicians and wondered what secret they possessed. One evening, she asked her elderly teacher, "When will I become extraordinary?" The teacher smiled. He pointed toward her violin. "Tomorrow morning." She looked confused. He continued, "And the morning after that." And every morning after that, the student waited for a more profound answer. None came. Years later, standing on one of the world's greatest stages, she finally understood. Greatness wasn't created by one remarkable performance. It was created by thousands of ordinary practices. Discipline always hides behind excellence. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. As emperor, he could have blamed stress for losing his temper. He could have used power as an excuse for selfishness. Instead, he viewed every challenge as another opportunity to practice patience, justice, courage, and self-control. To him, discipline wasn't punishment. It was freedom. Freedom from being controlled by impulse. Freedom from becoming a slave to anger. Freedom from letting fear dictate his choices. That is the paradox of discipline. At first, it feels restrictive, but eventually it creates the greatest freedom you can experience. Imagine a wild horse running across an open field, powerful, fast, untamed. Its strength is impressive, yet it cannot carry a rider. It cannot travel long distances with purpose. It cannot fulfill its greatest potential until that strength is guided. The human mind is much the same. Raw ambition without discipline often becomes wasted potential. Discipline gives direction to your strength. There is another lesson hidden in nature. Have you ever watched water flowing through a canyon? Water seems soft, gentle, almost powerless. Yet over many years, it carves through solid rock, not because it is stronger than the stone, because it is consistent. Consistency accomplishes what intensity alone cannot. This is why daily discipline matters more than occasional bursts of motivation. Anyone can work hard for one day. Mentally strong people keep working when the excitement disappears, when nobody encourages them, when progress feels invisible, when results take longer than expected. That is where character is forged. Imagine carrying 2 buckets every day. One is filled with excuses, the other with disciplined actions. At first, the excuse bucket feels lighter, much easier to carry. But year after year, something changes. The excuse bucket becomes filled with regret. The discipline bucket becomes filled with confidence. One grows heavier. The other grows more valuable. Every day, without realizing it, you are filling one of those buckets. The Stoics encouraged us to ask a simple question before every decision. Will this make me stronger or weaker? Not richer, not more popular. Stronger, because strength allows you to survive failure. Strength allows you to remain calm under pressure. Strength allows you to stay faithful to your values when the world encourages compromise. Perhaps this is why the strongest people often appear so ordinary. They do not rely on dramatic speeches. They do not chase constant recognition. They simply continue doing what must be done, day after day, year after year, long after motivation has faded. And one day, people look at their lives and call them successful. They call them resilient. They call them mentally strong. Only those individuals know the real secret. Their strength was never built in extraordinary moments. It was quietly earned, one disciplined choice, one ordinary day, one promise kept at a time. By now, one truth should be clear. Mental strength is not something you are born with. It is something you build, not in one extraordinary moment, but through thousands of ordinary ones. Every disciplined decision is like placing another brick into the foundation of your character. At first, the changes are almost invisible. Then one day, you realize something remarkable. The challenges that once overwhelmed you no longer shake you. The temptations that once controlled you have lost their power. The habits you once struggled to maintain have become part of who you are. That is the quiet reward of discipline. But how do you begin? The Stoics believed that philosophy was never meant to remain inside books. It was meant to be lived. Here are the daily habits they practiced and the same habits you can begin practicing today. 1. Win the first battle of the day. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning that he would meet difficult people, unexpected problems, and uncomfortable situations. He prepared his mind before the world tested it. You can do the same. The first battle of the day is often the alarm clock. When it rings, your mind immediately offers excuses. 5 more minutes. I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired. Every time you get up anyway, you teach yourself an important lesson. My actions are stronger than my excuses. Winning that first battle creates momentum for everything that follows. 2. Keep one promise to yourself every day. Many people lose confidence because they repeatedly break promises to themselves. They promise to exercise. They don't. They promise to read. They don't. They promise to stop procrastinating. Tomorrow never comes. Imagine if a friend treated you that way. Eventually, you would stop believing them. Your mind responds the same way. Instead of making 10 promises, make one, a small one, keep it. Tomorrow, keep another. Self-confidence is built one kept promise at a time. 3. Choose one daily discomfort. The Stoics intentionally practiced small discomforts, not because suffering was good, but because avoiding every discomfort made people weak. Take a cold shower. Walk instead of driving when possible. Finish the hardest task first. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Leave your phone in another room while working. Small acts of voluntary discomfort strengthen your ability to handle life's involuntary discomforts. Discipline grows when comfort is no longer your highest priority. 4. Control your inner conversation. Every person speaks to themselves all day long. The question is, what are you saying? Imagine 2 voices living inside your mind. One says, "This is too hard." The other replies, "This is making me stronger." One says, "I can't." The other asks, "How can I?" The Stoics understood that your thoughts shape your actions long before your actions shape your results. Become aware of the story you're telling yourself, then choose a better one. 5. Focus only on what you can control. Epictetus built his philosophy around one simple idea. Some things are within your control. Many things are not. Every day, ask yourself, what can I influence today? Your effort, your attitude, your honesty, your discipline, your response. Then let go of everything else. Imagine trying to control the weather. You would exhaust yourself. Many people do the same thing emotionally. They try to control opinions, outcomes, other people's choices. The Stoics chose peace instead. 6. Replace motivation with routine. Motivation is like the wind. Some days it blows strongly. Other days it disappears completely. A sailor who depends entirely on the wind never reaches every destination. Disciplined people build routines instead. Wake up at the same time, exercise at the same hour, read before bed, journal every evening. Routine removes unnecessary decisions. The less you negotiate with yourself, the more consistent you become. 7. Practice evening reflection. Before sleeping, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do well today? Where did emotion overcome wisdom? How can I improve tomorrow? Seneca practiced this every evening. Notice he wasn't trying to become perfect. He was trying to become better. Progress is always more important than perfection. Every honest reflection strengthens awareness. Awareness creates change. 8. Guard your attention like a treasure. The modern world constantly competes for your focus. Notifications, advertisements, social media, breaking news, arguments, comparison. Imagine your attention as a wallet filled with gold coins. Every distraction costs you 1. Spend enough coins on meaningless things, and you'll have none left for what truly matters. The Stoics believed your attention is one of your most valuable possessions. Protect it carefully. Where your attention goes, your life follows. 9. Become comfortable being uncomfortable. Imagine a seed buried beneath dark soil. If the seed could speak, it might believe its world was ending. Instead, it is growing. Growth rarely feels comfortable. The first workout hurts. The first speech creates fear. The first business struggles. The first failure stings. But every uncomfortable experience contains the possibility of transformation. The strongest trees grow where powerful winds force their roots deeper into the earth. Your struggles can do the same for you if you allow them. 10. Let discipline become your identity. This is perhaps the most important lesson of all. Stop saying, "I'm trying to become disciplined." Instead ask, what would a disciplined person do right now? Identity changes behavior. When you see yourself as someone who keeps promises, you keep them. When you see yourself as someone who finishes difficult tasks, you finish them. Marcus Aurelius didn't become disciplined because he felt motivated. He became disciplined because he repeatedly chose to live according to his values. Eventually, those choices became his identity. Imagine a sculptor standing before a massive block of marble. Every day, he removes only a few small pieces. Visitors see almost no change. Weeks pass, months pass, years pass. Then one day, a masterpiece stands where an ordinary stone once rested. The sculptor smiles. He knows the masterpiece wasn't created in one day. It was revealed through countless small, patient actions. Your life is no different. Every morning you choose discipline over excuses. You carve away weakness. Every promise you keep, you carve away doubt. Every temptation you resist, you carve away impulse. Every difficult task you complete, you carve away fear. Little by little, the strongest version of yourself begins to emerge. People will one day admire your confidence, your calmness, your resilience. They may wonder what secret transformed your life. The answer will be surprisingly simple. There was no secret, only discipline, practiced quietly, repeated faithfully, day after day. Long after motivation disappeared, because in the end, mental strength is not built by doing extraordinary things once. It is built by doing ordinary things extraordinarily well every single day.
Imagine meeting your future self 10 years from today. They look calmer, stronger, more confident, not because life became easier, but because they became stronger than the difficulties life placed before them. Now imagine asking them one simple question: what changed everything? You might expect a dramatic answer, a lucky opportunity, a life-changing event, a perfect mentor, a breakthrough moment. Instead, they smile and quietly say, "I stopped waiting. I stopped waiting to feel motivated. I stopped waiting for perfect circumstances. I stopped waiting for confidence. I simply began doing what needed to be done every single day." That is the quiet power of discipline. Most people spend years searching for the perfect strategy, the perfect routine, the perfect book, the perfect moment to begin. The Stoics understood something different. Perfection is not the starting point. Action is. Marcus Aurelius never waited until he felt fearless. He acted despite fear. Epictetus never waited for freedom before mastering himself. He mastered himself before he was free. Seneca never believed that comfort created wisdom. He believed that character was forged through practice. 3 different men, 3 different lives, one timeless truth. Your future is built by what you repeatedly do, not by what you occasionally intend. There is an old story about a traveler who came across 2 stonecutters working under the hot sun. He asked the first man, "What are you doing?" The man sighed and replied, "I'm breaking rocks." The traveler walked to the second stonecutter and asked the same question. The second man smiled, "I'm building a cathedral." Both men performed the same task. Both lifted the same hammer. Both worked under the same sun. The difference was not in their work, it was in their perspective. Every disciplined habit in your life is another stone placed into the cathedral of your character. Waking up early, reading 1 chapter, keeping your word, training your body, controlling your emotions, choosing patience instead of anger, choosing action instead of excuses. Individually, these actions seem ordinary. Together, they create an extraordinary life. Imagine an ancient oak tree standing in a wide open field. Children play beneath its branches. Travelers rest in its shade. Birds build nests among its leaves. People admire its strength. Few remember that the tree began as a tiny seed buried beneath dark soil. Its greatness was never sudden. It grew one season at a time, storm after storm, winter after winter, year after year. Your mind grows the same way. Every difficult morning strengthens your roots. Every sacrifice deepens them. Every promise kept makes them stronger. Then one day, life sends a storm that would have destroyed the person you once were. But now, you remain standing, not because you avoided hardship, because hardship quietly trained you. The world often celebrates dramatic transformations. The Stoics celebrated daily improvement, 1% better, one wiser decision, one stronger response, one more promise kept. Those small victories become impossible to measure until they become impossible to ignore. Perhaps this is why discipline feels so unrewarding in the beginning. The rewards are invisible. No applause, no trophies, no headlines, just another ordinary morning. Another ordinary choice, another ordinary act of self-control. But ordinary choices repeated for years create extraordinary destinies. There will still be days when you feel tired, days when doubt returns, days when quitting seems easier than continuing. On those days, remember this: you do not need to feel motivated. You only need to take the next step, the next right action. Because discipline is not about never falling. It is about refusing to stay down. The strongest people are not those who never struggle. They are the ones who continue moving forward while struggling. They keep their promises when no one is watching. They remain honest when lying would be easier. They continue training when motivation disappears. They become dependable because they first become dependable to themselves. So today, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next 30 days, choose one habit that will strengthen your mind. Only one. Wake up when your alarm rings. Read 10 pages. Exercise for 20 minutes. Write in a journal. Meditate. Practice. Gratitude. Whatever you choose, do it every day. Not because it's exciting, but because it is shaping the person you are becoming. Don't chase perfection. Chase consistency. And when you miss a day, begin again the next morning, without guilt, without excuses, without giving up. Because every sunrise offers another opportunity to become stronger than you were yesterday. If this story inspired you, don't let it become just another video you watched. Let it become the moment you decided to change. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. Leave a comment with the one discipline you're committing to today. And if you're ready to build a life of wisdom, resilience, self-mastery, and unwavering mental strength, subscribe and join this journey. Together, we'll continue learning the timeless lessons of Stoicism and applying them to the challenges of modern life. Remember this: discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. Freedom from excuses. Freedom from procrastination. Freedom from fear. Freedom from becoming a prisoner of your emotions. The life you dream about is not waiting for a perfect version of you. It is waiting for the disciplined version of you. So start today, start small, start quietly, keep going when no one notices. Because one day, people will look at your strength and call it talent. Only you will know the truth. It was never talent. It was the result of countless ordinary days when you chose discipline over comfort again and again and again.